I was stuck 50 feet in the air, on the spine of a silent roller coaster, when the man with the bloody face looked up and grinned at me. The park was closed. The lights were off. Only a weak street lamp glowed far below. I could hear a golf cart humming somewhere, a guard making rounds. My best friend, Charles, crouched beside me on the catwalk, breathing hard. I smelled metal and old grease. Wind pushed at my jacket. The man stood between two buildings, half hidden by shadow. His shirt was torn. His steps were crooked, like one leg didn't bend right. He wiped his cheek with his palm, and even in the dark I could tell it wasn't paint. Blood. He raised one finger and pressed it to his lips, like we were friends sharing a secret. Then he vanished into the dark. "Down," Charles whispered. "We gotta go. Now." We started down the stairs, slow and quiet, each metal step a soft clank. I kept looking over my shoulder. I didn't want to see the man again. But I also didn't want to lose him. It felt like if I blinked too long, he would show up right behind us. We slipped to the ground, hid behind a snack shack, and waited for the guard's cart to buzz past. That's when I saw him again, closer this time, moving low and fast, like a shadow that had learned to run. He crossed a slice of light. For 1 second, his face was clear-cut lip, smeared cheek, eyes too bright, like he hadn't slept in days. He was hunting. He wasn't hunting guards. He was hunting us. We didn't speak. We sprinted. We hit the fence, climbed, dropped on the other side, and ran until the park was a hum behind us and the campground trees hid us like a blanket. In our tent, we lay on our backs, eyes open, breathing hard. We didn't say blood. We didn't say murderer. We didn't say what if he followed us. We said nothing. Silence can be safer than the truth. Morning came like nothing ever happened. Bacon on a skillet. Coffee steam. Kids at the tiny playground. My dad and his buddy planned fishing. I tried to smile. My stomach wouldn't listen. Then a ranger truck rolled by. A staffer called out to every site, voice tight and official. "Attention. Please pack up and leave the campground. There was a stabbing at the lake last night, 4 miles north. The suspect is still at large. If you see a disheveled male, late 30s, possibly shirtless, possibly bleeding, do not approach. Call 911. Charles and I met eyes. We knew. We said nothing. Not to my dad. Not to the ranger. Not to anyone. We were 16. We were stupid. We were scared. We told ourselves we didn't really know what we saw. We told ourselves we'd only get in trouble for sneaking into the park. We told ourselves the police would catch him without us. That night, back in the city, I tried to act normal. Homework. Shower. Drake in my headphones. The train to my stop 96th Street was almost empty. I stood at the door, ready to step out when it slid open. But the doorway wasn't empty. A clown stood there. He wore baggy rainbow pants, a big yellow shirt with red suspenders, and huge red shoes that looked like boats. White makeup covered his face. Blue eyebrows. Red nose. No wig. The colors were bright but wrong, like a party thrown in a graveyard. I froze. He didn't move. He didn't smile. He didn't talk. He just blocked the door. I had seconds before the doors closed again. I went for a side step. He dipped his head like he wanted our faces close, like he wanted to smell my breath. I shoved past him and ran. Behind me I heard shoes slap the platform. I glanced back. His run was jerky and off, like a puppet pulled by the wrong strings. His hand came up. There was a kitchen knife in it. I flew up the stairs, burst onto the street, and kept running until a deli light made me feel less alone. I called the police. An officer went down. The clown was gone. Gone like smoke. I shook all the way home. Every face on the sidewalk looked plastic. Every shadow looked like a doorway. For a week I saw him in every reflection. In windows. In puddles. In my phone screen when it went black. I told myself it was a bad joke from 2016, the year clowns were suddenly everywhere, but deep inside I felt the same cold knot I had felt on the coaster. This thing is hunting. Months passed. I pretended to forget. Senior year came and went. I graduated. I took odd jobs. I needed money and time to figure myself out. That's when I found the night lifeguard posting, $30 an hour, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., small hotel in a town over. Weird hours, but good pay. One odd requirement, must not speak Spanish. Strange, sure. But money is louder than strange. I applied. First day, 2 managers met me at the gate. One was short and friendly, name tag Gabe. The other was tall and quiet, jaw tight, watchful eyes. He spoke to me in Spanish, casual stuff about the weather. I shrugged and said nothing. He smiled, like I had passed a test. Name's Jeff, he said in English. That's Esteban. He handles maintenance. Jeff's rules were simple: watch the pool. Take $10 from non-guests. If anyone with a blue wristband asks, unlock the pool house behind the stand. Don't ask questions, he added. His smile didn't reach his eyes. The first weeks were easy. Families came. Laps were swum. Tips piled up. Sometimes a guy in sunglasses would flash a blue band. I'd unlock the door. He'd disappear for an hour and leave with a backpack that looked heavier than before. I told myself it was storage. Or a meeting room. Or something boring. One busy evening, a little boy slipped off the shallow ledge and sank. I dove, pulled him up, and thumped him on the back until he coughed pool water and started crying. People clapped. A man hurried down from the hotel, grabbed the boy, and hugged him hard. You saved my son, he told me. I owe you. The man was Jeff. The next night, the gate was crowded with guys I'd seen around. They handed me a paper cup of red wine and called me a hero. Someone made a toast in Spanish. I didn't answer. I pretended I didn't understand. But I understood enough. Money moving, lives ruined, bless the house. Laughter. Cups raised. My hands shook. I almost quit right then. The very next day, my phone buzzed while I was on the stand. It was my mom. She only spoke Spanish. I climbed down and took the call by the snack machine. We talked for 2 minutes about groceries and appointments. I hung up, turned, and walked straight into Esteban's chest. He stared at me for a long time. How long have you known Spanish? He asked softly. I'm learning, I said. From an app. We stared at each other some more. The pool chatter sounded far away, like underwater. Finally he nodded once. Okay, he said. Come an hour early tomorrow. Jeff has a new opportunity for you. He slipped 2 crisp hundreds into my palm and walked away. That night I sat in my car, engine off, hands cold. The blue wristbands, the heavy backpacks, the late hours, the toast about ruining lives, the sudden money, every piece clicked like roller coaster chain teeth. It wasn't a pool house. It was a door. And I had been the doorman. I decided I would not go back. I looked up at the hotel. In the glass of the lobby door, my face stared back at me. For a second, the reflection wasn't me. It was white makeup. Blue eyebrows. Red nose. I blinked. It was only me again. I started the car. Something tapped my rear window, 2 knuckles, soft and patient, like someone asking to be let in. I turned slowly. A blue wristband pressed against the glass. And above it, a smile I knew too well. I didn't breathe. I didn't blink. My car idled in the hotel lot while the night felt too quiet, like the sound had been sucked out of the world. 2 gentle taps again. The blue wristband slid down the glass, slow as a spider. Then a face leaned into the reflection on my rear window. White makeup. Blue eyebrows. Red nose. The same clown from the subway, standing here, behind my car, like he'd been following my life from station to station, door to door. I locked every door with a hard click. The face turned, listening. I could see only the smear of a smile in the distorted glass. The clown's hand rose and traced a circle on the window with one finger, as if drawing a little door. He tapped in the middle of the circle. Tap. Tap. Like he wanted in. I shifted to drive. My hands shook so hard the wheel rattled. The clown didn't move. He tilted his head and pressed something flat to the glass, the blue wristband, like it was a key. My car's dome light blinked once. The radio crackled with a tiny burst of static. Then silence. No more waiting. I floored it. Tires squealed. The clown slid away in the reflection like a melted sticker. I shot to the exit, turned too fast, bumped a curb, and blasted onto the road. In the mirror, the lot shrank behind me. No one chased. No golf carts. No clown. Just the red hotel sign blinking like a heartbeat. I drove home with the radio off and the windows up. Every time a truck passed, I saw colors yellow, red, blue, and my stomach dropped. I kept telling myself a simple thing: don't look in mirrors. Not the rear view. Not the side glass. Not the black screen on my phone when it dimmed. I stared at the road until my eyes ached. Home. Lock. Chain. Deadbolt. I covered the bathroom mirror with a towel. I flipped over the mirror on my closet door. I tucked my phone face down under a book. I texted Charles a single line: don't sleep near a mirror. Call me in the morning. He sent back a thumbs up emoji and a skull, like it was a joke. I tried to sleep on the couch. No windows across from me. No glass. No shine. At 2:11 a.m., my phone buzzed under the book. A photo. No message. Just a photo taken from my building's hallway camera, the grainy kind that makes everyone look like a ghost. The photo showed the door across from mine, Mrs. Cole's place. In the middle of the picture, a shape stood where the floor caught the smallest reflection from the exit sign. The face was white. The nose was red. My chest went hollow. Another buzz. A second photo. This time closer, angled at my doorknob. The clown's gloved hand hovered inches away. And there, on his wrist, the blue band. I didn't move. I didn't make a sound. I just listened. Nothing. A building's pipes groaned like faraway thunder. A car outside hissed on wet pavement. A neighbor's TV laughed canned laughter. But no steps. No knock. No breath under the door. I crawled to the peephole and looked out. Empty hall. I called the police. My voice shook. I told them someone was playing a dangerous prank and sent the photos. 2 officers came, walked the hall, checked the stairwell, the lobby, the alley. They were kind, but the world to them was simple. Nobody there now, so nothing to do now. They reminded me to call again if the person returned. They left. I didn't sleep. At first light, I drove to Charles's place. He opened the door in a hoodie, hair a mess. He joked about my text. I showed him the photos. He stopped joking. We sat at his kitchen table with mugs we didn't drink. I told him everything: the man at the coaster, the clown at the subway, the pool job, the wristbands, the toast, Esteban's stare, the early meeting, the taps, the photos. I was careful with details. Not because I wanted to make it bigger, because I wanted it to be exact. This connects, Charles said finally. The man by the coaster, he had blood on his face. The ranger said a stabbing. The clown knife. The pool job blue bands. And now the clown has a blue band. It's not just a person, I said, surprised at my own voice. It's a pattern. It feels like a door. Every time I get near a door, something steps through. We have to tell someone, Charles said. Not just police. Someone who knows weird stuff. A teacher. A priest. I don't know. A person who studies this kind of thing. I remembered the book the Queen of Spades guy wrote in another story I'd heard, the way some people collect rules about the dark. But I didn't have a book. I had a phone. And a fear of looking at it. We decided to do something simple and human. We went back to the hotel in daylight, when scary things pretend to be regular. The lobby was busy with families. The pool gate was open. No clown. No Jeff. No Esteban. Just a teen at the desk and a sign that said, "Pool closed for maintenance." We stood by the chain link and stared at the pool house. In daylight it looked like a normal white building with a metal door. Plain. Boring. Harmless. "Let's ask a question," Charles said. He walked to the front desk. I trailed behind. "Is Jeff here?" he asked the teen. "Or Esteban?" The teen frowned. "Jeff doesn't work here anymore," he said. "And I don't know an Esteban." "How long since Jeff left?" I asked. The teen shrugged. "A while." "Can we talk to the manager?" Charles tried. The teen called the back. A woman came out, kind eyes, hotel badge, manager smile. We asked about Jeff. She kept her face calm but her voice went careful. He's not with us, she said. Is there something I can help you with? What's in that building? I asked, pointing at the pool house. My voice sounded small. The white one behind the stand. Storage, she said. For what? Pool things. Can we see? That's not possible, she said. Not mean. Just firm. We're replacing a lock. Blue wristbands. Charles blurted. What do those mean? She tilted her head the smallest bit. I think you boys should enjoy the lobby. There are cookies, she said gently. And then enjoy the rest of your day. Outside, we sat on a low wall and watched a kid try to catch a lizard by the shrubs. The world looked normal on purpose. That can be its own kind of scary. Charles took a breath. Okay, he said. If the front door is closed, we try the back. Where's the back? Mirrors, I said. My mouth went dry. Last night, he used the reflection on my rear window. The subway was steel and glass. The roller coaster looked like a spine, and the park had mirrors in the game stalls. The pool house door has a little square window. What if reflections are how he finds me? Charles looked around. Every window glittered. The hotel's whole front was glass. The parked cars were chrome. Even a puddle glowed like a coin. How do you hide from a world made of mirrors? He asked. My phone buzzed. I didn't want to look. I looked. A text from an unknown number. You left before we could thank you properly. Come early today. The opportunity is still yours. Jay. I showed Charles. He swore softly. It's bait, he said. It's a trap, I said. It's also a clue, he said. If we go early, we might catch what's behind the door. In daylight. With people around.